My best friend's perfect relationship was just a mask. Until she showed up at my door. I never thought I'd be writing something like this on the internet, but I need to get it out. She showed up at my door late one night, not just upset, but with a split lip, a swollen eye, and hands that trembled like she'd just run from a burning house. It took me a second to even recognize her. Standing in the doorway was my best friend, the same one everyone called lucky, adored, with the most perfect boyfriend. They were the couple people pointed at and said, that's what love should look like. The flowers, the trips, the laughing kisses in sunglasses. Instagram feeds full of, he brought me coffee at 6 a.m. He picked me up from work even though he was busy. We're making homemade pasta together. I don't know how long I stared before my brain clicked. This was real, and it hurt. I stepped aside, let her in, locked the door twice, and went straight to put the kettle on while digging through the cabinet for antiseptic. She sat on the edge of my couch like she was about to shatter into pieces. Please don't yell, she whispered, like a child afraid of waking the monster in the closet. I had never imagined adult life could sound like that. We've been friends since university. She was always the one laughing the loudest, the one dragging you out of bed when you were depressed. When she introduced us to him, a handsome, charismatic, polite guy, I honestly thought she had hit the jackpot. He carried her backpack, held doors open, teased her about dessert choices only to say, get both. He showed up at our hangouts with wine and cheese, remembered my cat's names, left comments under her photos saying, you're my universe. Honestly, I sometimes thought I wanted someone like him. Instagram made it worse. Them at a mountain lake, them in matching aprons in the kitchen, him holding peonies in the city center. Lucky to have found my person, she captioned one photo. I left a heart not knowing that same day he ripped off that apron because she'd chopped the onions wrong. The first crack came as a joke. She mentioned, he wouldn't let me wear my white t-shirt today, said I looked cheap. We laughed, I rolled my eyes and said, maybe he's just jealous. Then came the little things, how he didn't like her meeting friends without him, how he got a little angry if she didn't answer within 15 minutes, how he hated when she posted pictures showing too much skin. He had a tough childhood, she excused. He's just scared to lose me. But a little turned into, don't you dare, delete that now, who's texting you at 10 p.m. Give me your password, couples shouldn't have secrets. My gut felt uneasy, but it was drowned out by his endless flowers, handwritten notes, apology stickers, I'm sorry, breakfasts in bed, and the flawless Instagram reel of their so-called love story. That night, when she arrived at my door, all the puzzle pieces finally locked in place. She spoke in fragments. He started with words that cut slower than knives. You're worthless. Without me, nobody would look at you. You're nothing without me. Then came the shouting, the look in his eyes that turned him into someone else entirely. The first time he hit her was long ago, a slap, as she described it. She told herself it was an accident, that she pushed him too far, that he cried afterward, begged forgiveness, promised therapy, cooked breakfast in her favorite sunshine mug. She told nobody. Neither did I. Nobody knew. Because the next day her story showed flowers, warm filters, curated perfection. I brought her ice, antiseptic, an old cat blanket. She covered her face like she was ashamed not of the bruise, but of the fact the bruise even existed. He said I ruined his life. That I provoke him on purpose just to make him look like a monster. And then, she stopped, sipped cold tea, finished in a whisper, and then he looked at me like I was an object. Like a vase you can break and replace. I realized my fists were clenched so hard they hurt. Some truths need to be spoken aloud before they exist. She finally said, he hits me. The worst part wasn't the bruises. The worst part was the voice inside her head whispering, maybe it's your fault. She believed that voice. Because every time after he hit her, he'd come back with roses, gifts, kneeling apologies, ready-made speeches about toxic patterns I want to break. Let's see a therapist, you're my savior. He'd show up in a cab at 3 a.m. just to hug her for 5 minutes before leaving. He wrote letters to her mom apologizing for things she never even knew. He could play perfect boyfriend so well that when she dropped hints she wasn't okay, people told her, don't be dramatic, he adores you. Look how much he does for you. We all said it. I said it too. I told her we were going to the hospital. She begged, just not the police. I didn't push right away. But at the ER, when the nurse saw her face, it became official whether she liked it or not. The questions, the fluorescent lights, the smell of antiseptic. Domestic violence? Asked flatly, like a statement. She nodded faintly. I held her hand. For the first time that night it felt undeniably real. The doctor quietly told us, document everything: photos, dates, texts, calls. She handed over a certificate. Soft tissue injuries, hematoma, swelling. Words on paper that somehow made her pain feel smaller, neater. When we stepped outside, he called. 3 missed calls in a minute. Then a message bubble. Where are you? Her chin trembled again. Don't pick up, I said. She picked up. I heard his honey-dripping voice. Baby, I was so scared. You ran out. I've been looking everywhere. Please, let's talk. You know I can't live without you. I hung up. She looked at me like I'd just thrown away her childhood teddy bear. He won't let me leave, she whispered. You will, I told her, even though I wasn't sure it was true. I'm no hero. I just opened the door. But that night I made a list. Step 1, she sleeps here. Step 2, tomorrow, police. Step 3, collect evidence. Step 4, call her mom. She resisted every line. Don't make it bigger than it is, he'll change. I don't want him fired. I'm ashamed. It's between us. I listened and remembered how we used to laugh at red flag TikToks a year ago. The laughter ended here. The police weren't knights in shining armor. They were a long line, peeling paint, questions that stung worse than bruises. Did you provoke him? Were you drinking? Why didn't you come sooner? Any witnesses? My rage boiled as she explained she was scared, ashamed, hoping to fix things, believing couples don't just break up over a slap. We filed the report. They gave us a case number, told us to wait. No hugs. No, you did the right thing. But it was a step. Evidence became like collecting shards after an explosion. I took photos of her bruises with newspapers for dates. Screenshots of his messages, going from I love you to you're nothing in minutes. Old selfies with hidden bruises blurred by filters. Voice notes of him screaming, ending with, without me, you're nobody. I looked at them and thought how much pain can hide under one Instagram filter. She stayed with me a week. He called constantly. Neighbors saw him outside. I changed my locks, asked a friend to drop by evenings. I was scared, not for me, for her. Because every few hours she'd open her messages, stare at his I'll change, her finger hovering over reply. Trauma is glue. It doesn't stick because of love, but because of fear and habit. At night, she woke up asking if I was still there. Here, I'd say. We were like roommates in college again, afraid of the dark, but this darkness had a name and address. People's reactions were the cruelest. Some I told directly, she's with me, she needs support. Some saw the certificate and went silent. Some said, no way, he's such a good guy. Others whispered, maybe she exaggerates. These days everyone calls everything abuse. I wanted to scream. To plaster his you're nothing on their fridges. To comment the truth under every bouquet photo. But I knew denial was their shield. It's easier to believe monsters don't wear suits and smiles. We saw a therapist together. She said simple but piercing things. You are not to blame. Nobody deserves to be hit. Love isn't control. A perfect picture doesn't mean a perfect life. She gave us hotlines, legal contacts, support groups. She warned it would be long. That there'd be setbacks. That the first weeks after leaving are the most dangerous. I listened and, for the first time, felt we weren't completely alone. 2 weeks later, we collected her things. It was the strangest move I've ever helped with. Dresses, books, her lipstick mug, innocent as kittens. Then photo albums, love letters, gift boxes, sticky with memories. He wasn't home. We worked fast, silently. I peeled their beach photo magnet off the fridge and felt sick, how easily we believe pictures. She paused at the hallway mirror, touched a fading bruise, and said, I don't want my life to be a stage set anymore. We closed the door. Behind it, I thought I heard a faint noise, maybe a pipe. Or maybe the old life exhaling. Her truth went public not because of revenge, but survival. She posted, "Not here, not there, just a vague note. The perfect picture can be a mask. Don't be afraid to look behind it." Followers split. Some said, "We're with you." Some demanded names. Some scolded, "Don't air dirty laundry." But for her, it was a period where there used to be a comma. He'll change. I'm telling this not for likes, not for pity, but because I too once believed if someone holds flowers, their hands couldn't also hit. If someone posts my sunshine, it must mean warmth inside. But masks are cheap and filters are free. If you're reading this and your chest tightens because it feels familiar, please call it what it is. Control isn't care. Jealousy isn't proof of love. Give me your password, no secrets isn't romance. Without me you're nothing isn't truth. I made mistakes. I laughed at her jokes about his strictness. I ignored my gut. I added my own filter, not on Instagram, but in my mind, so it didn't seem so bad. If I could tell my past self one thing, it would be, listen between the lines, don't judge life by pictures, ask the uncomfortable questions. Are you safe? Deserves to be asked as often as needed. We're still walking through it. She rents a room in my apartment. She's seeing a therapist, joined a support group. She wears red lipstick again, not for him, but for herself. She still jumps at footsteps on the stairs, but can finally fall asleep without a nightlight. Our friendship is quieter, deeper, no forced, I'm fine. Sometimes I see her on the bus, hair loose, eyes soft, and she's the girl from university again, laughing louder than anyone. It's not a fairy tale ending. It's just life, inching back to her. As for him, he posts cryptic captions like, "Not everything is what it seems." He messaged me, "Let's talk like adults," called her mom with apologies and threats, blocked and unblocked. The system is slow, like an old elevator that stops on every floor. But it moves. Every document, every no, every night she ignores his "I can't live without you" is another floor passed. I don't know how it ends legally, but emotionally, she already made the hardest choice, believing herself more than his picture. I'm writing this here because names and details don't matter, feelings do. If your friend shows up beaten one day, open the door. Don't rationalize her pain. Make tea, grab antiseptic, give her a blanket, and say, "We'll take this one step at a time." And if you're that friend, scrolling this in the bathroom while he sleeps in the next room, I don't know you, but I know you matter. You're not worthless. You are somebody. And your story can look different than the one he scripted for you. That night, when she stood at my door, her perfect picture shattered like glitter, cheap and fake. We didn't clean it up. We just stepped over it carefully and went to the kitchen to make tea. Instagram that day glowed warm as always. But in my little apartment, the light was real, harsh, revealing, hiding nothing. And from that light began her new life. And mine too, with the realization that behind every perfect mask, there might be a world that desperately needs to be seen and believed. What would you have done if your best friend showed up at your door like this? Subscribe for more real-life stories. The next one might change the way you see perfect relationships. Thank you.